We are
Okay, so can I start, sir?
थोड़ा टाइम दे दो, YouTube पे ज्वाइन करने का शायद लिंक अभी मिला होगा ना उनको।
जी सर।
2 मिनट का समय दे दो। Let us start now, Rajiv.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead.
Good evening to one and all present here today. Respected Principal, Professor S.P. Agarwal, sir. Our Chief Guest for the session, Shri Ram Mohan Mishra ji. Our guest of honor for today, Shri K.C. Raut ji. Members of the organizing committee, fellow colleagues, and dear participants. I, Dr. Parul Yadav, on behalf of Ramanujan College, welcome you all to this online 2-week refresher course in commerce organized by Teaching Learning Center and Department of Commerce, Ramanujan College, in collaboration with SST College of Arts and Commerce, Ulhasnagar, Maharashtra. Ramanujan College is a constituent college of University of Delhi, accredited grade A++ by National Assessment and Accreditation Council (NAAC) in its second cycle. At present, Ramanujan College offers 16 undergraduate programs in different disciplines. Besides this, the college has been awarded Deen Dayal Upadhyay Kaushal Kendra in 2016 by UGC and Teaching Learning Center in 2017 by Ministry of Education. In 2018, we conducted courses on human rights, environment, and ethics through the annual refresher program in Teaching Arpit, which is another scheme of Ministry of Education. The college, besides this, offers short-term diploma, certificate, and executive development programs on contemporary and skill-oriented themes to complement the regular graduation courses. It is also the study center of School of Open Learning, Non-Collegiate Women Education Board, and Indira Gandhi National Open University for various courses. The college has entered into a number of memorandum of understandings with foreign universities because we at Ramanujan College emphasize the holistic development of personality, meaningful exposure to real world, and inculcating practical skills amongst our students apart from ensuring academic excellence. The college is also working for collaboration with other higher education institutions located in remote areas of the country under the Vidya Vistar scheme of the University of Delhi. Our collaborating partner for the program is SST College of Arts and Commerce, which is a premier educational institution in Mumbai, Maharashtra, established with an aim to equip the youth with quality as well as career-oriented education based on high ethical values, enabling them to achieve their potential and creative abilities. The college prioritizes a comprehensive and engaging training program for its faculty members too. Established in 2004, the SST College is affiliated to University of Mumbai and is a multi-facility faculty institution of higher education with an enrollment of more than 4,000 students, running a number of UG and PG programs. The Teaching Learning Center, Ramanujan College, offers such programs like this refresher program for teachers who wish to update their field of knowledge, expertise, and skill with the latest available resources and technology. This refresher course aims to disseminate the new developments and contemporary research in commerce. The objective of the program will be to train teachers on present-day methodology and how they can use it to augment their teaching and research. Keeping in view the immense benefits and reach of online courses in the present academic setup, we are offering this online 2-week refresher course in commerce for faculty members and research scholars of higher education in the country. I once again welcome all our esteemed guests and all the participants to the inaugural session of this refresher program. Before I invite our esteemed guests to address the participants, I would like to invite Dr. Rajiv Nayan, convener of the program, to apprise you all with the contents of the program.
Thank you, Parul. Respected Principal Sir, Chief Guest Ram Mohan Sir, and Guest of Honor Rawat Sir. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming all of you the refresher course today. TLC Ramanujan College has reached the highest of great success. The participant will be made aware of the current development in some of the discipline of finance, marketing, accounting, human resource management, business research, Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, entrepreneurship, and skill enhancement. Additionally, some recent development in taxation law, GST, IFRS, has changed how business operate to the name of few. This refresher has been organized to discuss all these and many more issues which may occur during the development of commerce. Well-known experts, academicians, and industry experts have been invited to present their view and discuss the opportunity, threat, strength, and weakness of the subject. Regarding rules and regulation of this refresher course, we hope by now the participants have enrolled themselves to course in the LMS portal. Any important information will be communicated through the official Telegram channel of this course. We have made exhaustive FAQ, which is available in the portal. Kindly go through the FAQ for the general information, and you can always write to us in designated email. Submitting all quizzes and assignment are mandatory, and each participant should score a minimum of 50% in total to avail of the program completion certificate. Please note that the graded certificate will be awarded only on the basis of their performance. Daily feedback form as the part of Ministry of Education requirement under the PMMNMTT scheme, all participants need to submit online feedback for each session. Failing to meet any of the above conditions will result in denial of a certificate of completion of the participant. I hope you have an engaging and enriching session ahead. So happy learning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for briefing the participants with all the rules and regulation. And I'm sure this will help them for, making their learning experience better in the next 15 days. Can I now invite Professor SP Agarwal, sir, to welcome our esteemed guests and all the participants who joined us today.
Thank you, Parul. Good afternoon to all our dignitaries and participants who have joined Pan-India in large numbers in this program. I believe Rajiv was telling me that more than 600 participants. So it's a great achievement for a faculty development program engaging with teaching community in the country. Our chief guest today, Shri Ram Mohan Mishra ji, our guest, Shri K.C. Raut ji, my fellow colleagues, all young colleagues, and colleagues from all over the country who have joined this program to refresh their knowledge in the area of commerce and management for next 2 weeks in the contemporary issues in the Department of Commerce and Management. Friends, as Parul told you, and Rajiv ji told you that we will be dealing with the current issues of the department, especially in the area of commerce and management. See, today, commerce has changed completely. It is not that traditional commerce that, okay, we are teaching traditional accounting, finance, marketing, but things need to be integrated with technology. Now, Rajiv ji was just telling that they will be discussing about blockchain, cryptocurrency. These are all fintech, technologies which need to be aligned. And especially artificial intelligence has changed the role of all the commerce graduates in the country. Now, as a teacher, our role has changed. It is not that just teaching the pedagogy, teaching the subject is important. It is integrating the teaching with the skill, with the technology, with the new developments, especially in the field of business analytics, risk analysis, data analytics, and big data. All these disciplines come under the commerce and management discipline. Don't think that only the technology people like computer science or statistics or mathematics people will deal with these subjects. I tell you, we have to train our young graduates in these areas. Another important area, to develop this economy, and as our Prime Minister vision is that now it's a 5th largest economy, and now we have to reach to the 3rd largest, and ultimately in next 25 years we want to see this economy as developed economy. How it will happen? It will happen with good education policy, which recently government has brought out, the National Education Policy 2020. And another important aspect which commerce graduates has to adopt is the entrepreneurship and startup. That is the key to the development of this country. Now, as a young graduate, don't always think that we will seek employment. Rather, always think, innovate the new ideas, and then work on those ideas to provide employment. Today itself, our finance minister, if you have seen, in order to achieve the developed economy status, the four things emphasized, the idea, the innovation, the inclusivity, and the infrastructure development, investment. So these are the areas in which we have to work in order to bring this economy into a developed economy in 2047. So our role as a teaching community, as a builder of the nation, is to apprise our young minds with these new developments and to encourage them, to empower them, that they should achieve these skills in order to be useful for the industry, as well as can set up their own startups in these areas. See, country is full of tremendous opportunities. Now we have to see these, we have to grab these opportunities. There are very small things which can be grabbed by the young minds, and societal problems can be solved. Today country is facing with so many opportunities and so many problems also. You can see in the field of environment, you can see in the field of sustainability, you can see in the field of medical education, you can see in the field of various areas which can revive the society, the underprivileged, or which we call inclusivity, that every section of the society should develop. Today we say that we are 3rd largest or 5th largest, but let us explore what is the status of per capita income in the country, whether people are getting enough food, whether they have enough income to sustain themselves. That is also very important, with this important thing that yes, we have to be 5th largest or 3rd largest economy. So with this, friends, I would just say, because we will listen to our guests who are professional in this area and who works with government, because they really know what is going on in the internal government policy making for the education as well as for the whole country. So we are fortunate that they both are attached to us and will be talking to you in this area. Thank you very much. Over to Parul.
Thank you so much, sir. You've rightly put that commerce as a stream does not function in isolation, but it will be complementary, with other disciplines. Government surely is coming up with policies to achieve that. And we are indeed very fortunate to have two such policy makers with us today. We are privileged that we have with us Sri Ram Mohan Mishra ji and Sri K.C. Raut ji. Before I invite Sri K.C. Raut ji to address the audience, I would take the opportunity to briefly introduce Sir to all the audience who's present here today. Sri K.C. Raut ji was a civil servant, being a member of Indian Trade Services of 1986 batch. After working for more than 34 years, he has retired as Additional Secretary Equivalent in Department of Commerce, Government of India in January 2021. He has extensive experience in all aspects of India's foreign trade policy, including trade control and regulation, trade development and promotion, and trade negotiation. He has worked in various capacities in the field offices of Directorate General of Foreign Trade in Kolkata and Chennai. He has worked in the Ministry of Commerce from 2002 to 2007, when India embarked on a series of regional and bilateral preferential trade agreements. He was closely associated with the entire negotiation process and conclusion of South Asian Free Trade Agreement, SAFTA, India-Afghanistan PTA, India-Mercosur PTA, India-Chile PTA, and has also been associated with initial stage of India-European Union Trade and Investment Agreement. That apart, he has been handling rules negotiation in Doha round of WTO. He has been General Manager in Central Cottage Industries Corporation in Ministry of Textiles and India Trade Promotion Organization under the Ministry of Commerce. For almost 8 years, he was additional DGFT in head office of DGFT and handling import policy division. He has special interest in WTO agreements and issues thereto. Currently, he is working as an executive chairman, State Investment Promotion Board with Government of Meghalaya. We are extremely thankful to you, sir, for accepting our invite and gracing us with your presence today. We welcome you, sir. Can I now take the opportunity of inviting you, sir, to address the audience?
Thank you so much for those introducing words. There is a small correction. I am not the executive chairman of the investment. I have not written that. I am the advisor to the Investment Promotion Board of Meghalaya.
Okay. We'll note that, sir.
Sure, sir.
So Mishra is the executive chairman of the board. So that's a small correction. So am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Agarwal, the principal of the college, Mr. Mishra, the chief guest today, Mr. Raji, and all the participants for the 2 weeks program on training the teachers. I'm thankful to the organizers that they have invited me and given me this opportunity for sharing my views with all of you. That said, let me, what I'll do is I will just take you through the trade and commerce in the ancient world very briefly for 2 minutes. Then I will fast track to the current trade and commerce so that we spend more meaningful time for the substantive time for the current trade and commerce, as the training program is currently on the current trade and commerce. Let me start by quoting Socrates. He said, there is only one good, that is knowledge, and there is only one evil, that is ignorance. And you'll be surprised to know, Socrates was going to a marketplace for his knowledge. Marketplace where daily commerce was being conducted. Goods and services were being traded. That is in Athens. Why marketplace? The marketplace is not only going to give you ideas about production, consumption, and exchange, but also it will give you, for example, about the idea of real and fake. For example, whether you are trading an item unfairly or unfairly, which means the question of ethics. So those are the issues which you will directly come in touch when you are interacting with marketplace. And marketplace will have all kinds of people. There will be slaves, there will be aristocrats, there will be middle class people, there will be people who are local instructors, people who are wise people in the local community. So all kinds of people will come. So people will come not only just to share their, to exchange their goods and services, they will also come to share their ideas. That is why Socrates was going to a marketplace. And if you see our development across the globe, all the port cities also become the center of learning. You talk of Guangzhou in China, or Alexandria in Egypt, Athens in Greece, some of the Roman ports, or even in our India, Lothal in Gujarat during the Mohenjo-daro and Harappan period. All these were centers of not only trade and commerce, but also the centers of knowledge. You see the, our people are trained with Southeastern Asian countries, Java, Sumatra, Bali, and all those places. If you go to Bali today, which many of you must be going as a tourist, there are hundreds of Hindu temples. Where did these Hindu temples come from? It went when our people went with to trade, goods like silk, ivory, spices, textiles. They're also taking ideas. Now our people took, ideas like Hinduism to those countries, and that is why you have Hindu temples today on a large scale. Similarly, there are tradings between, our South Asian, South Indian, like Chola and Cheras with Roman Empire. Or you have tradings across the, European, South Asia and Central Asia through the Silk Route. Silk Route is China, China with Europe, with Eurasia, and also the southern part of Asia. So trade was very, very important from the civilizational point of view. Trade has always played a major role in developing our civilization. But you see, there are major drawbacks in those trades. For example, that was the time when there was no currency, global currency. That was the time when there was no large scale, easy transport. There was the time when there was no commonly agreed, trade rules. So even if there are trades of many goods like tea, like textiles, like fur, like wool, like precious stones, nobility and royal people, they used to require precious stones for their jewelries, for the jewelry of the ladies and girls, and jewelries for their own crowns, all kinds of things. So trade always played the most important role in our in the countries and regions' prosperity. But trade had serious limitations during those days, including medieval trade. Like it was handmade goods, so the goods were limited. It was being shipped through handmade boats. There was no large-scale transport, logistic, systems. Then trade was not governed by, largely accepted rules. It was being, permission was being given by those monarchs, the royal families. Then only used to go for trade. So trade was subject to all kinds of discussion by the local monarchs. If English people came to India initially, they sought permission from the Mughal rulers in India. So there is no commonly accepted disciplines for conducting trade, international trade. Even trade in 18th and 19th century, which was almost the colonial trade, whether it's Africa, Asia, because all European powers were the colonial masters, and they were trading with Asia and Africa. But the trade rules were governed by them. There is no equal partnership in the trading systems by these, colonies where they were ruling. So the trade rules were subject to the whims and discretions of the colonial masters. So it was not a free trade. Trade was always as per the rules and laws decided by the colonial masters. Now, that's why I'm just, because it is such a vast subject. So if you fast forward to the modern era, that is till the after the Second World War, for the first time in 1947, we set up what is called the GATT, Generalized Agreement on Trade and Tariff. It is from that day the international community started trading through a system of rules and laws. Till that time, there is no commonly agreed rules and laws. Till that time, as I have said, the global trade or international trade was subject to hundreds of limitations. Now, in 1947, after the formation of the United Nations and all its subsidiary organizations, the 1947 we have the GATT, General Agreement on Trade and Tariff. Now, this was essentially defining the trade rules on goods. Now, it went on till 1994. With this agreement, all the countries are conducting their trades through this agreement only. When the 1995, the WTO, World Trade Organization, was set up with 123 countries as signatories. For the first time, you have an organization called WTO. Also, you have almost 16 agreements which are negotiated and put in place by all members. It is for the first time that global trade was thought to be conducted through a written discipline. Now, this is very important to know. Till 1994, global trade was subject to, as I have explained, to different kinds of limitations. Since 1995, January 1995, you have a system called WTO, which lays down, and now these rules are laid down not by one country or two countries. It is by the participating countries. All countries which are signatory to this agreement are laying down these rules. So it is member driven. This is an organization not driven by one or two countries. It is member driven. Members should decide. Now, what does it stand for? It stands for what we call the multilateral trading system. Multilateral trading systems governed by a few defining parameters. What are the defining parameters? That first parameter is it has to set up open trade without limitations, trade without barriers. Trade without barriers means both quantitative barriers and physical barriers. When you say quantitative barriers, trade should not be subject to licensing, quota, all kinds of restrictions which are put by different countries. Similarly, trade cannot be subject to all kinds of fiscal restrictions like duties, custom duties, and other kinds of tariffs. Now, when the members decided to sign this agreement, they agreed, they took an undertaking that they cannot raise their tariffs beyond a certain limit. And what tariff they have to give for every item, they have undertaken that limitations. So they submitted to the WTO that we cannot go beyond this level of tariff. That is why even in India cannot go beyond a certain level of tariffs because India is a signatory to the WTO. Similarly, the second criteria would be non-discrimination, or what in technical terms they call the most favored nation treatment. If you have today you have 164 countries which are signatory to the WTO. India cannot say that I will have one set of trade rules for my favored countries and another set of rules for countries which are opposed to me. For example, India cannot say I will have a different set of rules for China, Pakistan, and Bhutan because they are opposed to me, or not Bhutan. Or I will have a separate set of rules for countries which are friendly to me. No. Whatever rules you will design, it has to be applicable to all countries equally across the globe. You cannot have a policy of discrimination. Third, fairness of trade. You cannot subject the systems to unfair trade practices. For example, you cannot go on giving subsidies to your goods so that your goods become more competitive in the countries in international market vis-a-vis the other goods which are originating from other countries. Or for example, you cannot dump your goods in other country. Dumping of goods means you will sell your goods at a cheaper price than what you are selling at your own domestic market. So these are the unfair trade practices. So the WTO prohibits this kind of things. Unfair trade practices. It prohibits discrimination. It also talks of transparency and stability. You cannot have a system, trade rules today and tomorrow you cannot change it. You have to notify to the WTO that I will have different rules or a new set of tariffs or new set of licensing regimes from such and such date. You have to notify that and you have to codify and you have to inform the WTO. So, in short, what I'm saying is that today the trading rules is stable and predictable, and nations or countries or participants to the WTO, they have to exhibit sufficient transparency in their conduct. You cannot say that I will make some laws, but I will keep it secret. No, the moment you have a law impacting the trade, in international trade, then you have to notify it. You have to make it visible. You have to show it to the world. This is the rules, this is the regulations I am putting in place. Suppose you want to put a regulation for your food grade items, for cheese, or meal, or something, or in dry fruits. Suppose you want to say for all imports of dry fruits, I will subject all the imports of dry fruits to be tested in such and such laboratory in India. You cannot, if you are making such a law, you cannot keep it secret. Whenever the goods come in the port, you cannot say that no, I have notified you. No, have you notified it and have you made it public to everybody? If you not, then that will be against the spirit and the laws of WTO. So predictability, stability, transparency, these are the rules of today's global trade. So that ultimately, what is this? Ultimately, at the global scale, you have to ensure effective allocation of resources. Just like within the nation, because why you have undertaken so much liberalization process since 1991 or 92? Since you remember, since the days of Narasimha Rao, why you undertook so much liberalization? You undertook so much liberalization just to see that your economic activities rises, your economic activities goes up. Your economic activities goes up only when you have a stable, transparent, and predictable laws. Because investor will not invest. A company or an industrialist will not invest unless he is sure of his return. Nobody, you cannot put a single paisa unless you are sure of your return. That is why, to ensure that he has confidence in the system, you will ensure of a system which is stable, which is predictable, and which is transparent. Similarly, at the global level, all the countries, all the 164 countries have joined hands to ensure a stable, a predictable, and a transparent system of trade, so that all countries join together, conduct their trade transparently, fairly, and openly. That is the kind of, I hope I have not exceeded my time.
No, sir, that's fine, sir. Fine, sir.
Okay. So that is so if you see the current, the main activities of the WTO is they negotiate the trading agreements. whatever, agreements are in place, 16 agreements, they are outcome of the intense negotiation among the member countries. Nobody has got it from outside that this is an agreement, you have to sign and you have to agree. No, it is all countries participate through intense negotiations among themselves. And when they agree, mind it, it is by consensus. When they agree, then only they can sign the agreement. And that agreement becomes valid for conducting global trade. Now, what are the other activities of the WTO? Other activities are implementing and monitoring these agreements. No country should violate this agreement. If they violate, then the matter goes to the dispute settlement body of the WTO. When the people who are filing the case and people who are against whom they are filing, they have to appear before the WTO dispute settlement body for arguing their case. And if the case is not justified, it will be rescinded. It will be thrown out. That is how the WTO, just like judiciary, national judiciary will throw out illegal action by the government. Similarly, signatories' action can be made declared illegal if it doesn't conform to the written rules as envisaged and interpreted by the WTO. So that is the regime today. And today the WTO also is, WTO was set up in 1995 under the Doha, under the Uruguay round. Then in 2001, there is a Doha round, which remains inconclusive. It has not been concluded for various reasons. Now it is new issues are coming. You have now climate change. You have now new technology called, artificial intelligence, blockchain, technology for all these things. So today, WTO has to confront these new, issues of the new emerging issues. With that, let me end my presentations. Thank you so much, Mr. Doan, and thank you all for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. You have rightly set the tone that how international trade and the good practices of trade from, earlier era and the current era. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for meticulously charting out how trade has developed over several decades, starting from where trade acted as a backbone for development of a civilization with many problems that existed back then. We have moved from a trade with rules defined by few powerful to a more fairer environment, thanks to WTO and the agreements and the negotiation policies of WTO. Through the principles which are being set in WTO, a more conducive trade environment is created, leading to increase in world trade, in fact, many folds. And as you've rightly put, yes, there are new challenges, there are new technology which has come in, like Bitcoins or blockchain, and how the agreements have to be changed now as per the changing environment is the need of the hour. Thank you so much, sir, once again, for giving us this beautiful summary of how trade has evolved over a period of time. Thank you. We are indeed honored to have with us Shri Ram Mohan Mishra ji, who has consented to be a part of this session today. Shri Ram Mohan Mishra ji is Additional Secretary to Government of India and Development Commissioner for Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, and has taken over additional charge of Chairman cum Managing Director of National Small Industries Corporation. Shri Mishra works on comprehensive policy making for SME sector in India. He has over 30 years of experience as an Indian administrative service worker, handling, work in the field of general administration, mines and minerals, program implementation, planning, banking, institutional finance, revenue, environment and forest, to name a few. The list goes on and on. He is a law graduate with Masters in Geography and has studied public finance at Maxwell School of Syracuse University. He has been CEO of a government company working for promoting and facilitating inclusive growth, entrepreneurship development, climate change adaptation, and sustainable development. We are extremely grateful to you, sir, for finding time for us. I request you, sir, to address the participants.
Just 1 minute, just one small correction. He retired as secretary to the government of India, not additional secretary.
Okay, sir.
He was
Noted,
secretary
sir.
to the government
Sorry.
of India.
Rawatji, these designations don't matter. What matters is that I have the privilege of being invited to address this very august group, which is interested in commerce. And I had a very small stint in Ministry of Commerce, so some reminiscences of that ministry. Now, it is indeed very heartening to take note of this approach, which has come into education domain. A lot of productive teaching is happening, a lot of productive student development intervention is happening. And this will definitely be of great help for our entrepreneurs, for the people who are interested in commerce and trade, and so forth. Now, the first question we need to address to ourselves, particularly in this group, when we are reflecting, there are few questions to ourselves first we need to ask. As a teaching community, as the people who are education administrators, and those questions are like, first of all, why do we teach? What will come out of this? Whether it is going to add any value to people who are being taught, whether it is going to add value to, and what value, that question needs to be answered as to what value is going to be added by this teaching. So why teaching? Why we are having this course? Why we teach people at all? So that is one. Second very important question is what to teach. So like Mr. Rawat has given detailed clarification about what are the important aspects of commerce and trade. And our respected learned principal also has flagged certain issues which are important when we are taking up this exercise. Then we need to also understand then how to teach. That's important. Because gone are the days when we'll hand over some books to the students and then those books they will mug up and pass the exam. And there's an old saying in Sanskrit, Pustakastha tuya vidya parahast gatam dhanam. Apatti kale samapanne nasa vidya natadhanam. So whatever is written in the book or is learned from the book is of value. But of greater value is the knowledge which gives you understanding of what is going to work in the field. And therefore, in the domain of trade and commerce and business per se, I would say that in the field, I won't like to describe it, but there's so many things which need to be done to survive in business. Those things cannot be written in the book. And maybe teacher also, because of limitations of what can be said in a classroom, cannot teach it. But this is where we need to create conditions where our students can learn those kind of contexts where we don't treat them unethical methods, but then they should be aware of what is the sort of what they're going to do. What will be their strength? What will be their weaknesses? What will be the opportunities they'll have? What are the threats they are going to face? Now, if they're not aware of this particular understanding and knowledge, then when we pass them out and encourage them to set up a startup or a business, or we ask them to export and all that, I mean, if they end up being bankrupt, then what is the point? So, as they say, being tactful, being pragmatic, learning tricks of the trade. Now, those tricks cannot be written in the book, but they may be universally applied. So, one may be not interested in applying them, but one should be aware of whom we are competing with. And what is the group we are competing with and facing threat from them. Because if we are having certain practices and certain principles we are following, and then 99 other people out of 100, they're following certain other practices. Now, if we keep working through the book, then business may be washed out. So, this understanding of the practical processes, practical aspects of business, that's a very important thing. And this is where maybe on the sidelines of the course or some interaction with people who are actually in business, apart from the academic interaction, I think can be of great value. Maybe some interactions or some, I would say something like internship maybe with those people who are in business. Like say somebody wants to learn export in terms of commerce and trade. And there's some big exporter who has risen from kind of ranks and who has done great job in one lifetime. It may not be a bad idea to get these group of students introduced to that person, and then that person can maybe on the sideline can pass on the tips which the teacher cannot tell, and which the people who have learned it may or may not apply it, depend on their own ethical framework or their own compulsions in life and their own requirements in life and so forth. So, and then also important is whom to teach. So many times we are teaching people without understanding their aptitude, their capability and all that. So of course it is the choice of the student to enroll for a course. But I think to be fair to everybody, there is a need for some sort of understanding of aptitude and capability. So that some student career counseling or something, and the college where this program is happening, I know for sure both Principal Saab and then Mr. Rajiv and other faculty there. They take great care in terms of being very open with the students, in terms of giving them insights into what is in for them and what is that they will become when they pass this course. So that's important. So that many people, instead of pursuing higher studies in commerce, and this can be, like say, teacher is a very important, I would say, experience in life. I mean, that's what at least I can say as while recalling my student phase. The teacher is not just one more thing in life. It is an extremely important experience in life. And it is most of the time life-changing. So therefore, in that Guru Shishya Parampara, if the teacher's emotional connect and then some bit of sharing of insights can also give this clue to the students, why are you wasting time? It may not be for you, but nonetheless, I leave it to your choice. Some sort of, just like we have those processes of counseling, could be of value. And in the educational institutions and in the process, I think counseling can be augmented a bit so that people can take a very considered view and call as to what to study, why to study, what will come out of this, whether it is for them or not. So this is one more important thing. Now coming to content, I think Mr. Rawat has explained in detail the update on commerce practices. Only a few things I would like to just add there. One is for an entrepreneur who may be an exporter or a manufacturer. There's about 7 aspects of life which are very important. Business life. So one is, of course, knowledge, deep knowledge of everything around business, the entire SWOT of business, I would say. And therefore, it should be a very clear choice made not to become bankrupt. So that is knowledge. Knowledge of everything, actually. And knowledge of where the market is there, knowledge of what to produce, knowledge of what technology to use, knowledge of what business processes to be applied, and so forth. Knowledge of what will be more productive. Knowledge of what could be more efficient kind of manufacturing process. Knowledge of what could be more efficient kind of packaging process, and so forth. So knowledge is the key. And this is where this course, when we are designing or passing on to the students, if this knowledge could be on these 6-7 aspects, which I'll just briefly hint, and then maybe some more work can be done on this. So one is knowledge per se. Second is the knowledge of enterprise opportunities. Then third will be knowledge of where the finance is, where is the most competitive finance, and where from the finance as a package will come. Finance means loan, then equity, then guarantee products, and insurance products, and so forth. So financial sector knowledge. Then technology. Many times, especially our small and medium entrepreneur, they go for very high-end technology or they go for very low technology. Both are, you are out of the market. So technology has to be pegged at the level which is relevant for the market you are proposing to serve. And therefore, it is very important to impart those aspects of knowledge for an entrepreneur. And same applies to export. Like say in a country, they are buying only green products when there's no residues should be there. And if you're trying to pass on urea and other fertilizers, you'll be rejected at the port itself. along with the compensation and damages. So therefore, this knowledge is very important. And then how to procure logistics and build infrastructure, how to use the warehouse facilities, and then the knowledge of market process itself. What can be consumed by a country? Where is the import opportunity? Where is the export opportunity? And so forth. Many times people are not even aware of those 8-digit kind of import-export lines. They are not properly aware of finer elements of these tariff lines. Then they are not aware of these technical barriers to trade. There's so many other barriers to trade. They are not aware. So this is a very important knowledge. And then knowledge of these IPRs. And then knowledge of the governance processes, where ease of doing business, what are these inspectors doing, what is the regulatory regime, where to file the GST, how to deal with the income tax laws, and so forth. So there are various facets of governance which we have to comply. और उनको करना जरूरी होता है. और आखिर में एक प्रश्न ये भी आता है कि अगर हम बिजनेस कर रहे हैं तो क्यों कर रहे हैं. ये जनरली उतने खुले रूप से पढ़ाया नहीं जाता है. हम तो सिर्फ बिजनेस का पढ़ा देते हैं, कॉमर्स पढ़ा देते हैं, बट व्हाई शुड समबडी डू ऑल दिस. तो उसमें अपने शास्त्रों में कहा है कि मनुष्य का जब जन्म मिलता है तो उसमें 4 लक्ष्यों की पूर्ति के लिए काम करना चाहिए. तो एक तो है धर्म, दूसरा है अर्थ, तीसरा है काम, चौथा है मुक्ति. एंड इसलिए जो अर्थ का उपार्जन है, जो कॉमर्स एंड ट्रेड है, अगर धर्म की रीति से नहीं किया गया है तो फिर उसमें कठिनाइयां आ सकती बाद में. इसके बारे में लोगों को बढ़ा देना चाहिए, बता देना चाहिए. और तीसरा है कि कामनाओं की पूर्ति तो करें, पर मनुष्य का जीवन बहुत संक्षिप्त है, आगे बहुत दिन तक नहीं चलता. इसलिए वो जो बिजनेस किस ढंग से करना है वो इम्पोर्टेंट है. और उसमें अगेन 4 चीजें मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि जो नेशनल इकोनॉमी के जो गोल्स होते हैं, जिनको ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स जिनकी पूर्ति करता है, तो एक तो है ग्रोथ, जिसमें पैसे कमाने वाला, वेल्थ क्रिएशन, वो इम्पोर्टेंट. पर अगर इफ ग्रोथ इज नॉट इंक्लूसिव, then it is neither fair, not जो जैसे कंज्यूमर की जो सुरक्षा है, हम कुछ बेच रहे हैं या बना रहे हैं, ट्रेड कर रहे हैं, कॉमर्स कर रहे हैं, कंट्री के अंदर कर रहे हैं, बाहर कर रहे हैं, तो जो कंज्यूमर का इंटरेस्ट है उसको अगर हम प्रोटेक्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं तो हमको ये क्लियर होना चाहिए कि हमारा बिजनेस बहुत दिन तक चलने वाला नहीं, is not going to survive for too long. So this aspect of teaching, that the entire being smart while doing business, that if we are not taking care of interest of consumer, business not only not grow, but it may also not survive. So this is the second dimension. And third is the environmental sustainability, ecosystem sustainability. If we are doing business in such a way that we are passing on trash and then toxins and everything in the ecosystem, is not only injurious for everybody, but if the factory may be shut down because of environmental loss. And also these same toxins may come back to us. Like I keep giving example of household washing toxins in the wash basin. So we feel they've gone somewhere else, but they go to water system, then they go to river Yamuna in Delhi. And from there, they go to watermelon. And watermelon comes to market and we happily buy it. And again, it goes to our tummy. So doing environmentally sustainable work is not only charity and national good, it is also in self-interest. And therefore, this aspect of business being taught is also very important. Now, speaking to a group which is of teachers, speaking about this teaching is very hazardous task. And I understand my limitations because I continue to be a student and it's such a mahima to be a teacher. So इसलिए मैं और कुछ नहीं कहूँगा. मैं इतना ही कहूँगा कि आप लोग अपने जो विद्यार्थी हैं, उनके आपके जो सफलता की जो कुंजी और उसकी सफलता की पहचान और उसकी इवैल्यूएशन सही है कि उनमें से जितने लोग हमारे क्लास में आए थे, उनमें से क्लास में से कितने लोगों ने अपने बिजनेस स्टैब्लिश किया और कितने का बिजनेस फला फूला और बढ़ा. अगर ऐसा कुछ पैरामीटर और बैरोमीटर हम लगा लें और उस पर अपने को आकलन करें तो आत्मावलोकन का भी उसमें बहुत अवसर रहेगा और हमारी शिक्षण की पद्धतियां और सारे कुछ का अच्छा विकास भी होगा. मैं बहुत अनुग्रहित हूँ. हमारे जो अग्रवाल साहब प्रिंसिपल साहब हैं, और हमारे जो राजीव नयन जी हैं, इनका इतना स्नेह है मेरे ऊपर कि वो कभी कभी मुझे इन सब चीज़ों में मौका देते हैं। हालांकि जो चीज़ें मुझे नहीं भी आती हैं उसके लिए भी मुझे बुला लेते हैं, तो मैं उसके लिए उनका अनुग्रहित हूँ। और हमारी जो जिन्होंने इंट्रोड्यूस किया हमें, लक्ष्मी जी ने, उन्होंने हमारे जो भूतकाल के बारे में बता दिए हैं, तो उनका बहुत बहुत अनुग्रह है। बड़े बड़े डिजिग्नेशन बता दिए, तो उसके लिए बड़ा उनका अनुग्रह है और मैं उनका बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद राजीव जी।
सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। See, you are saying that you are not an educationist, but we wanted to listen a professional and a practitioner, which you have rightly, spelled out, because academician will listen every day, but we need to incorporate the views of the professionals, practitioners, industrialists. So that is the part of education. So, sir, you have done a wonderful job, and I'm sure that the kind of approach you have taken, not only in teaching, but also in business, that why, what, and how. Because if we keep on thinking these things, we will do the right thing and justice to the students, as well as justice to your own business. So the kind of approach you have taken is excellent, and I'm sure that our teachers will try to adopt these policies, and while doing teaching, will always recall these buzzwords, while talking to their students. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. In fact, you have rightly put, certain guidelines in perspective when it comes to business. Our students often come up with proposals to start, businesses, and they have innovative ideas to come up with startups, but they lack that basic understanding. And I think from a practical point of view, because you've been seeing that all throughout, so I think we can take those points in our classes and we can educate the students about those practical, aspects when they go or they want to start their own businesses, for making their businesses sustainable, and it should not be short-lived. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
With this, we conclude our inaugural session. But before that, I'd like to invite Ms. Ruchika Bal, Assistant Professor with Department of Commerce, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Parul. On behalf of Teaching Learning Center and Department of Commerce, Ramanujan College, University of Delhi, and SST College of Arts and Commerce, Ulhasnagar, Maharashtra, I take up this opportunity to extend formal vote of thanks for today's inaugural session. I would like to express my gratitude to our honorable chief guest, Shri Ram Mohan Mishra ji, and our keynote speaker and guest of honor, Shri K.C. Raut, for taking out their valuable time to enlighten us today with their rich experiences. Our honorable principal, Professor S.P. Agarwal, for being the pillar of support and always motivating us to conduct such valuable sessions and programs. Our teacher in charge of Department of Commerce, Professor Dr. Rajiv Nayan, for working tirelessly to make this refresher course possible. Dr. Parul Yadav, for effectively and gracefully hosting today's session. Our members from technical team for their continuous support. All esteemed faculty members and participants for joining us today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Parul.
Thank you, Ruchika ma'am. With this, we conclude our inaugural session for this 2-week online refresher program in commerce. I thank everyone once again for joining us and making this inaugural session a success. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.